Huddy Huddy. So you are hurting from your divorce, from lack of direction, from challenges, professional and otherwise. And the situation you find yourself in is extremely debilitating. You may be going through the day to day aspects of life and be getting by. People ask you how you're doing. Oh, I'm fine. But within, there is either an acute pain because you're going through something specific or something um, that is very much apparent, or the pain is more chronic. It's an underlying sense of malaise, an underlying sense of just what am I doing here? What's the meaning of life? Don't mean to go off into an existential uh, tangent, but that's we're oftentimes faced by those questions. And I can understand you're going through that. I've been through that myself a number of times. I've been through a divorce. I've been through challenging professional terms. Who hasn't? That's the nature of life. Yoga is an incredibly powerful way for you to deal with and move through those situations. Now, the problem is you may have come to understand yoga the way the consumerist, capitalist presentation of what is yoga. Right? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's not the yoga I'm talking about here. You have been sidetracked by that particular presentation of yoga. And that particular presentation of yoga completely strips yoga of all its most powerful elements, right? It brings it down. That's why it is a multi-billion-dollar industry. It brings it down to its most universally palatable aspect and then packages it in a way so that it becomes appealing across that broad and acceptable across such a broad demographic. About maybe, first of all, physical. It makes it a physical thing. Yoga is a very physical exercise. True, of course it is. They may add in a little bit about meditation and calmness and breath, a little bit of this to make it, give it a little seasoning, right? Give it a little exotic nature to it. That is a tip of the iceberg of what yoga is. So you may have had that experience, that understanding of what yoga is. And that presentation, that offering of yoga is not nearly enough to get you through what you may be going through. Not nearly enough. Yoga can be the silver bullet in terms of helping us navigate the very stormy, very turbulent seas of our life. Yoga, literally the word yoga means to unite, to connect, to bring things together. So when we have this view that yoga is about stretches, asanas, physical contortions, that is to help you gain access to an understanding of your physical being, your physical body. That is to give you knowledge of your physical body. The courage, the discipline it takes to undergo those asanas gives you knowledge and realization of your psychological makeup as well. That's just the beginning of what yoga can provide. Think of it this way. Yoga is inviting us to connect, right? Linking, to yoke two things together. It's inviting us to link ourselves on four levels. The first level you want to link yourself on in terms of yoga is to yourself. Who are you? What do you really know about yourself? When you go through and experience various issues in life, very transitional phases of life, you learn more and more about yourself. But yoga, the purpose of yoga is to get you to know about yourself before life hits you over the head with a sledgehammer. Forgive the visual. That's the purpose of yoga. That is the benefit of yoga, is that you get to know, you gain self-realization without having to experience 80 years of life. And that realization may or may not happen even then. It gives us a sense of self-awareness, self-knowledge, self-realization, so that when the trials and tribulations of our existence come upon us, we're able to navigate them without losing our sense of self, without losing our sense of being, without losing our sense of purpose and meaning. So, yoga gives that self knowledge before life happens. Because life is going to happen, we know that. So, it gives you a connection with yourself, it gives you knowledge of who you are. Then it gives knowledge and connection, affords the connection between you and other living creatures, other living beings, the relationships you have, professional, personal, so on and so forth. It tunes you in, that awareness you have of yourself, that self-realization you've gained, that connection you've had with every aspect of yourself. You gain that perspective. You gain that knowledge, that realization, that linking, that connection with other living beings around you. You become both empathic, you're able to understand, you're able to put yourselves in other people's shoes, while at the same time, because you know yourself, because you have self-realization, you're able to draw boundaries when needed. So there's both deep understanding, deep connection, deep relationship with other living beings around you, while maintaining self-identity through boundaries, self-respect, self-understanding, self-awareness, self-love. This is what yoga provides. Then you gain a connection with the divine. Those things, the parts of this world that is intangible, the energies that make this world actually function in a stable, predictable manner. This is most commonly manifest as weather patterns, right? We see the energies of nature through weather patterns. That's how they manifest, the energies of nature. But yoga can get us attuned to the energies of nature without having us depend on the literal weather patterns in order to understand the natures the world is going through, the energies the world is dealing with, or the energies we are dealing with in this world. Yoga gives that connection with divine energies that are functioning around us, an understanding and an ability to work with and navigate those energies. Then it gives, on the fourth level, it gives us a connection with the Supreme. And this is very key. Even the great atheist, Bertrand Russell, said, Life, or what is it? In order for life to have meaning, we must assume a God. I had to paraphrase that, but it's something to that extent. In other words, he's saying that if there is no God, then life has absolutely no meaning. Existence, not yours personal life, existence, period. Life, period, has no meaning if you do not assume a supreme. What that supreme is another topic for another time. But that's what yoga facilitates, us developing a connection with the supreme. You developing your specific, unique connection with the supreme. There is a linking, there is a bond, there is a connection between you and the supreme. And that's what yoga facilitates. So these four aspects of yoga can help you. I would actually say that these four aspects of yoga are essential for you to navigate life, to go through life in a meaningful way, meaningful for you, in a way that is meaningful for you, that in a way that is successful according to your definitions, according to your values, according to your self-realization, your self-knowledge. Yoga awakens you to yourself. Yoga connects you to yourself. Yoga helps you manifest every part of yourself. Yoga helps you deal with the parts of yourself that are challenging. Yoga helps you understand and have compassion for those parts of yourself that are challenging. Yoga helps you manifest, empower, and activate those parts of yourself that you have repressed, that you may not even know about. Yoga helps you go through the world in relationships in an empathetic way while same time having boundaries based in self-love and self-respect and self-realization. You're able to be empathetic to others. You're able to develop deep, deep relationships of love. You're able to move through the world fully attuned and aware to the various energies to which you and others around you are subjected. You can almost predict, just like the weather forecasters predict the weather. When you are mature in yoga, you're able to predict what's going to happen in a situation just by feeling the energy in the room, just by feeling the energy of someone walking towards you. We do this uh, almost naturally. But a mature yogi, when you become mature in yoga, you will be able to do this on a scale that will astonish you. And it's not magic. It's not hocus pocus. Like I said, we have experiences, right? We walk into a room and the room feels a certain way. Someone walks towards you, you feel a certain energy. We've experienced all this. This is not hocus pocus. It is just that when you become a highly evolved, a highly mature yogi, that awareness, that attunement to energies around you is greatly, greatly improved and alive, that attunement, that awareness. And then you're able to develop a unique and deep relationship with the Supreme. This is why yoga is a silver bullet, not as you've heard yoga described, not the way you've heard yoga presented in the media, in the local gym, They're missing out 95% of what yoga is actually about. I like to say yoga is not something that can help you. Yoga is essential for us to become yogis, mature yogis, is essential for living our best life, for manifesting and becoming our best selves, for living up to our full potential as human beings. Hare Hare.